These days, shows are often heavily overrated, and you have shows such as The Mandalorian, Andor, and Luther, which does not deserve the high rating they are getting. But nobody really challenges the new Shogun in this respect, which is the icing on the cake when it comes to being overrated. It may have some good moments, but is it a masterpiece and the next big thing? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. And we will talk about why it is overrated today. The first reason we will delve into is the cast, where you only really have 3 decent acts in the show done by Anshi, Mariko, and Toranaga. The rest of the cast does not act in a believable way and could basically be replaced with any other actor. Maybe it should be said that Ishido does seem to evoke fear in you, but that is just because he is done in a darker way, which leads us on to the second problem. The right characters are not given enough screen time. You would like to see more of Anshin and more of Toranaga, perhaps also more of Mariko, that anyway is given the most out of these 3. The issue here is that because we have a lot of endless alliance talk in the show, they need to show us a lot of Ishido and Ochiba, which I gotta admit, more than most, are pretty boring characters that makes this show lifeless at times, especially Lady Ochiba. Then you need to see the decisions in the Council of Regents when Toranaga really could just have been given a letter in order to have Ishido's decisions. But instead, of course, we need to be in that long drawn out process where the Council agrees. Another issue I have watching the show are the endless flashbacks and character building, where it is all about going deep into flashbacks, especially with the Mariko character. We need to see her dark past and how she and Lady Ochiba were like sisters. That's something that gives the character Lady Ochiba, perhaps the most boring character of this show, a lot more screen time. Of course, if you like character building, that could be interesting, but it is an issue when it takes up so much of the screen time. You also see flashbacks with Toranaga on how he won a battle as a kid, but they do not go as deep as we do with the Mariko character. Another reason why I feel this show is so overrated is because of those endless empty build-ups where nothing really happens in any of the episodes. And when it does happen, it is just cut very short, like when Anshin saves Toranaga from the earthquake, on the attack of the Osaka castle, and even in the last episode, which is just a big homage to the Mariko character, where we don't even see how Toranaga destroys the ship of the pilot. You have been promised a Crimson Sky attack in now 3 or 4 episodes, and this is built up to a war, but we do not get none of those, which then again makes the show very dragged at times, because there's mostly dialogue that leads to nothing, and long drawn out monologues that at least makes me fall off and bores me to death in a lot of the moments, because there's a lot of talk but no real execution. Like for instance in a Peaky Blinders show when they burst into a big finale like this show really fails to do. The show also does lack tension, and now we got the score, I know we got it, and everything that might be a good song, but when Mariko is about to take her own life, when Anshin is about to take his own life, or when the castle attack comes into play, it is just not delivered with enough tension and class. Even the crash during the first episode is not done in a dramatic enough fashion and does not exactly have you on the edge of your seat. Also, when you do see some battles or when there's disagreements between the characters, you never feel the tension, and that's one of the reasons why I don't understand a high rating of this show. Yes, somebody may rate it for potential, but it's actually speculation that they may have run out of material, much like in the 1980 version, where they also never took the story further. Another reason why I'm not enticed by the show is because that it really does not feel authentically Japanese. If you take the mood, how the rituals are done, the visuals of the buildings compared to the 1980 version, which feels a lot more Japanese, this show has no real authenticity. In this version, you just do not feel that you are in Japan in the same way. Maybe some of you may live yourself into that authentic Japanese way, but having seen the 1980 version, I cannot do that in the same way. Also, a difference I will point out is that there is a lot less respect between the characters in this version, and it is way less about the Anshin learning the language and Japanese customs, but of course, as I said, way more about alliance talk, which replaces the cultural respect of exchange from the other version. Another interesting feature to take away from the 2024 version are some events that I do not feel are really done realistically. especially when Mariko tries to force herself out of the castle by leading men into battle. It may make it more dramatic, but I do feel it is less realistic that she actually went so out of her way to support Toranaga that she led a lot of men into certain death. I believe how it was, in the realistic way, is that she pled to leave, then was refused by Shido, and then went straight on to try to commit suicide instead of trying to escape right in the middle of the night. Also, another one is that Anshi learns Toranaga how to dance, his sailor dance after walking in on him drinking sake, rather than learning him how to swim in this version. So now I have indeed listed some reasons why this show is overrated, but I believe it will continue to be overhyped. Even though this show may only actually get one season, it must be one of the most overrated shows ever made, because yes, it has some moments and the characters Anshin, Toranaga and Mariko are written to a good extent, but once again you try to bake too many characters into the show and give them the screen time the main characters could have got. That's why for me, this one is a 6 out of 10. In some moments, yes, entertaining, but it has too many flaws and boring moments to be the masterpiece show everyone is talking about. Then again, maybe we haven't seen the same show, but have watched the 1980 version recently, and I like that a lot more.